welcome to Storm Reads, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of an overview of my reading from 2021. I meant to get this up before the end of 2021, but it just didn't happen, and I still wanted to go ahead and do it, so I'm going to do it. Basically, I've got some of my own stuff here with some stats, and then I've kind of took some of the questions from the end of the year survey and threw them in here as well. The ones that at least had answers for, because some of them just wasn't relevant for what I read or anything like that. So I didn't have answers, so I just kind of took some of them. Anyway, so I read a total of 256 books in 2021, which I thought was pretty good, because there were some months where I didn't think I was going to read that many, and then I surprised myself and that I did. But I know a lot of it is because of audiobooks, because I read 144 books, audiobooks, and 82 ebooks, and 28 were physical books. So yeah, most of my reading came through audiobooks. Even if I had a book to follow along with, I usually count them for audiobooks. I read 78,138 pages, and that does include the audiobooks and everything. And I read from about 11 different genres, and my biggest genres were mystery with 118 read, and out of those, 94 were cozy mysteries. That's really high for me, and I know that it's really due to the fact that I found the gals from the Killing Time with Cozies group, and that kind of fed my cozy addiction, and I read a lot. Then I had 31 from the romance genre, 29 horror, 22 fantasy, 16 adventure, and 11 thrillers. So those were like my top genres. And from my page counts, I can tell that I really favor books that are from the 200 to 400 range. Because my most read pages for a book, I read 80 books between 300 and 350 pages, 53 books from 350 pages to 400 books, and 46 pages were 250 to 300 pages. So yeah, I'm not a big book person, as you can tell. And the month I read the most books was July. I read 33 books in July. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but I did. So some of the questions from the end of the year survey I have here is, what was the best book of the year? And so out of all my favorites, I am going to say that my favorite was probably Killer Research by Jen Mckinley, just because I really liked that it was about Mrs. Cole and her being like a suspect in the murder. And I've really grown to like Mrs. Cole, and so it was a lot of fun to read. And a book you were excited about and thought you were going to love more than you did. And for that, I'm going to put Bigfoot in the Bronx by Hunter Shea. Hunter Shea is like one of my favorite horror authors, and I really love a good creature feature. And I had myself, I guess, maybe pumped up a little bit too much for this one, that it was going to be like some kind of awesome creature feature, and it didn't end up quite exactly how I thought it was going to be, so I was kind of let down a little bit. It was still good, and I gave it like 3 stars, but it just wasn't what I was looking for in a Bigfoot creature feature. So, that happens. Most surprising, either in a good way or a bad way. And so for this one, I have The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. And I put this here because it was surprising in a good way, because I did not like the Twisted Ones by this author. It just was kind of boring to me, and I was kind of afraid because they kind of sounded like they had the same premise, because they were kind of like a portal type horror book that I just really didn't think I was going to like it. So I was very surprised that I liked it as much as I did, because I gave it 4 stars. And it has prompted me to go ahead and try another book from this author whenever one comes out, because I think this author has a new one sometime being released in 2022. I'm just not quite sure when. Okay, and then so a book I pushed most on people. I'm sure this will come as no surprise to anybody, because I'm pretty sure this is the book I probably pushed on most people. It was the series, mainly, not just this book, but the series. But this is the Library Lover series by Jen Mckinley, and this is the first book. Books can be deceiving, and I'm going to push right now because I think you all should try this if you like cozy mysteries. So, best series you started. I would have to say the Amish Candy Shop series by Amanda Flowers. Best sequel? I'll have to go with Dead Voices by Catherine Arden, because I really like Small Spaces, which was the first one, but I enjoyed this one like a whole lot more. So I really think the sequel was a lot better than the first one. The best sequel that I read in 2021. And then best series ender. So I would have to go with Cajun Kiss of Death by Ellen Byron, because as much as I didn't want that one to end, I really, really enjoyed the way that the author got to end it, because she actually knew she was going to be ending the cozy series. Most of the time, they just get dropped and they don't really get a really good ending. It's just, they just get a last book and that's it. But she knew that she was ending this one, and so she got to put like an epilogue and kind of end it, so we can see how things happen in like the future or whatever, kind of. And I really liked that. I thought it was really cool. New favorite author, I'm going to go with Amanda Flower, because she seems to be the author I read a lot from this year that I've never really read that much from her before. I had read one of her books before, Crime and Poetry, I think was the title. And then I never read any more from her. And then we did Killing Time with Cozies. We read the first book, and so I reread it. And since then, I have read 2 more books in that series, which is the Magical Bookshop series. But then also, I read all of the Amish Candy Shop series. I read all of the Matchmaking series. And so I would say she has become a new favorite, because I want to read everything now that she has written. So, best book from a genre that I don't typically read. I'm going to go with Ross Poldark by Winston Graham, because I don't necessarily read sagas. That's like something that I really don't read. But because I enjoyed the TV show that was going on Amazon Prime, I decided to halt that and go ahead and read the books. I meant to read more in this 12-book saga, but I didn't get a chance. But I will remedy to that here in 2022, because I am going to read more from that. Most unputdownable book. This one was kind of hard for me, but I'm going to go with Every Last Fear by Alex Finley. I really enjoyed that book. I was really curious to see how it was going to unfold at the end and what was going on and stuff. So it did keep me wanting to read it and everything. So I would say that's the most unputdownable book. Favorite cover? I'm going to go with Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston, because, I mean, look at that cover. It's very pretty. It is very pretty. Most memorable character. So I'm just going to say everyone in the Virgin River series, because I pretty much just love everybody in that series. I like to come back to that series time and time again with each of them, because I know that even though it's going to be centered on 2 new characters, I'm still going to get Mel and Jack and Preacher and Paige and Doc and all those, So yeah, it was all the characters. They're great. Book you can't believe you waited until 2021 to read. And I'm going to go with Relic by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child, because I've heard about it, and I've heard about this series, but in the back of my mind, I don't know why. I'm just like, I don't really think I want to read that. But then the more I kept hearing about it, I thought, I need to give it a try. And now I'm like, I can't believe I waited this long to give this series a try, because it was really good. I can't wait to read more from it. Shortest book was Botched Butterscotch by Amanda Flowers, and it was the one of the novellas for the Amish Candy Shop series. And the longest book I read was Stephen King's Needful Things. This one was a reread for me, and yeah, it's pretty chunky. And I read this with my friend Barb. Surprisingly, I didn't really care for it quite as much as I did whenever I read this when it first came out when I was quite a bit younger. Most shocking? Um, I would say The Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Moldavsky, because I think it shocked me at the ending because of who done it. I really didn't want to think that that person was going to be the person that done it, and I think that I was just, I mean, I should have probably known, but at the same time I was like, no, 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 no. So yeah, I was kind of shocked. So I'll say that one. Favorite non-romantic relationship? I'm going to go with the gang from the Thursday Murder Club. There's 4 of them, and they're 4 seniors, and they're all a lot of fun, and they have like a really cool relationship because they're all in this retirement community, and they get together and on Thursdays, and they try to solve cold cases and stuff, and then they get involved in real time murders, and they're just really fun. Book you read solely on the recommendation of someone else. Peer pressure. I will probably have to say the Amish Candy Shop series by Amanda Flowers, because everybody kept talking about how good it was. Tiffany from the Beach Bum Bookworms, that's one of her favorite series. And when it was Amish in April, there were several people that were going to be reading that, and I kind of had like some FOMO, and I had to go ahead and try the first one in the series, and then I just, like I said, I read the whole thing, so it was good. A book that made me laugh, I'm just going to go with all 3 books from the Amish Matchmaking series by Amanda Flowers, because they're so fun. Even the Candy Shop series will make you laugh too, but yeah. Lois and Millie in the Amish Matchmaking series, though, they are so funny. And then the last question I have here is book that made me mad. And I'm going to go with The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. The reason that it made me mad was because it was a horrible retelling of Jane Eyre. As a thriller, I gave it 3 stars, but as a retelling, it gets like 1 star. It was a horrible retelling, but thriller wise, I thought it was just okay. But yeah, it made me mad because every time as I was reading it, I was just get madder and madder because it just really ruined Jane Eyre. So I was just like, no. So I kind of like hate read it, kind of, because I didn't like it. And so yeah, so that's pretty much my year of 2021 in a nutshell, kind of. Things that I liked and didn't like, and longest books and shortest books, and all that good stuff in between. And so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.